Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Marty Grisani here, one of the owners of Upstate Home Buyers and Suplex Properties here in Rochester. So today what we're going to talk about is on another, again, going down that path of a real estate investor mindset. We're going to be talking about talking to sellers, okay? So, before we do that, but I want to talk about bar, all right? Well, not, going to the bar, even though you can find me there on occasion, okay? I, dabble in the drinking arts from time to time, but bar is belief, action, results. All right, so we got belief, action, and then results. Why is that important? Well, when you have a strong belief, okay, whether that's belief in yourself, belief in the company you work for, belief in what you're doing, belief in your why, right? Then those things allow you and give you a momentum, right? We talk a little bit about momentum in our past videos, which allow and give you the strength, right? That give you that burn to take the action, right? It's another thing that I want to talk about as well is the burn. What's that burn inside of you that is giving you that belief that has you take action, which then gets you those results, which then, again, build up momentum, which then gets you more confidence to keep going and to start thinking bigger, taking bigger risks, right? Like I've said in previous videos, the more confidence we have, the increased appetite we have to take risks, because when we take those bigger risks, we take those bigger swings, now we may miss, but if we hit, it could be life-changing. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to change our lives for the better. We're not trying to be normal humans. I'm not normal, okay? And I don't want you to be either. If you're watching this, you're probably not. Again, I'm doing these videos, it's for my legacy. It's for my kids. Think it's something that they can look at and they can laugh, right? This could be absolutely just for them to laugh at. Or they could be inspired and proud, and maybe hopefully they're both of those things, laughing and inspired. But the confidence, again, it's a fulfilling circle. The more confidence and the more belief, then you're going to take bigger actions and you're going to get bigger results. All right, because I say that and I start the video with that because I know for a lot of viewers, one of the scariest things in real estate investing is talking to sellers. And I get that. My unfair advantage is I like that. I like talking to sellers. In my previous career, that's what I did. I sold advertising at a very high level. So you don't have 8 years of selling on the phone or in person like I do, okay? But I'm going to help you and give you some of that some of that momentum, some of that juju that you need to give you the ability to talk to sellers. And what I'm going to start with is all sellers are human, okay? They have feelings too. They're normal human beings, all right? And that's important for you because I believe the best way to talk to a seller is to build rapport. You don't need to go right into it and say, I want to buy your house. That's like if you went to the bar, you got a shot maybe at 1 out of 100 if you just kind of pull that line of, hey, I'd like to go on a date with you. But why not start off with, hey, how are you? What's your name? That's a pretty good start. Now, I'm joking, but that's the truth, is that everyone's human. People have feelings. And we want to cultivate those feelings and we want them to feel comfortable around us, okay? So when you're talking to sellers, start with some rapport. I like using this. So I'm gonna give you guys 2 slick tricks. I like when I'm talking to a seller saying, Mr. Seller, hi, Marty Garzani with Upstate Home Buyer. Listen, you don't know me, but I'm buying properties in your neighborhood, and I just gotta tell you, you bought this property at 123 Main Street about 10 years ago. That was such a smart investment. Really, your foresight to buy in this neighborhood is just incredible. And so I got to applaud you for that. Okay, now, see, I'm building up credibility. Obviously, in the beginning, that's where you want to have your credibility is. You want to have your name, who you are, Upstate Home Buyer. It makes sense, right? That, okay, these guys buy homes in Upstate. And at the same time, I'm going to give them some love. I'm going to tell them, hey, just want to let you know, you bought 123 Main Street 7-10 years ago. What an awesome idea that was to buy then. This is a great neighborhood, and you took a really smart chance. You took a good chance and a smart choice to buy in this neighborhood. Listen, I'm buying houses in this area. Just wanted to take a few minutes with you to talk about potentially buying your property. Are you open to talk about that? Okay, now a couple things are going to occur. Number one, you want to have that little bit of, hey, this is Marty Garzani, I'm with Upstate Home Buyers. Listen, you don't know me, okay? But I'm buying properties all over this neighborhood, in the Beechwood neighborhood. And I got to tell you, Mr. Seller, I know you bought it like 10, 15, 20 years ago. I got to give you a lot of credit because then it may not have made a lot of sense as it does now to buy in that neighborhood. And am I right with that? You might get a chuckle, you might get a laugh. And that's what we want. We want to start getting that rapport. Okay, now we can go on and start taking that journey. I just don't want to be the same as everybody else when they talk to them. I want to give them some love. I want to, again, show them that I know what I'm talking about. Show them I did my research. Show that hey, I know you bought this property X amount of years ago. Show them that I know what I'm talking about, being that that neighborhood has appreciated and now it's a pretty well-known neighborhood, at least to investors, right, in the area, and that I'm interested. Now, again, I'm talking to a seller that I know there's going to be some motivation to, right? It might be pre-foreclosure, it might be a divorce, it might be bankruptcy, it might be probate, whatever, okay? I'm not going out and saying, hey, I know you're in foreclosure, I want to buy your house. What I'm doing is I'm saying I'm buying houses in the area, which I am, okay? You know, if you're actively looking, that means you are buying, all right? You may not have bought yet, but if you're actively looking, you are this close to buying. Because all it takes is a seller to say yes. So I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, I am buying in this neighborhood, all right? You don't have to say, well, I'm thinking about possibly buying in this neighborhood. I'm a brand new investor. No, you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm buying properties in this neighborhood, okay? And I know that you bought this property 10 years ago. What a freaking great buy, man. I'm gonna talk just like that. What a freaking great buy. That was so smart buying 10 years ago. You having the foresight to buy in this neighborhood. I just gotta tell you, that's awesome that you did that. Okay, now again, if they're in foreclosure, at least I'm not hitting them right in the face saying, listen, I know you're in foreclosure and hey, scumbag, you know, you didn't pay your mortgage, let's make a deal. No, I'm being a human. I'm telling them that I do think that was a great choice that they bought the property in the neighborhood, and I'm interested in buying properties in that neighborhood. Oh, wow. Well, if you were thinking about selling, or if you knew that, you know, maybe you needed to sell, I might be a pretty good candidate, wouldn't I? All right. So we're talking to sellers. But again, I want you to remember when you're talking to them, they're just human beings. So, and you may catch somebody on their bad day, they're going to hang up on you. You may catch somebody on their good day and they might want to do a deal with you. But you won't know unless you talk to the sellers, right? All right. So the other thing to think about when you're talking to sellers is not that they're human beings, but again, if there's a problem, well, you need to remember that I'm doing you the favor, sir, ma'am, right? When I call you, this is the sort of attitude you need to bring on that phone call or in that appointment. I am going to make you the hero, sir. I know that this is a problem. And let me ask you, if this problem property, right? Let's say it's violation, it's in pre-foreclosure, maybe it's a probate situation where there was a death in the family and Now this property is just sitting there, maybe it's vacant, right? Let me ask you, Mr. Seller, has this property been a problem for you? You know, how does that feel? I'm really gonna ask these questions because I truly believe that I'm here to solve the problem. I'm a doctor when it comes to this, where I'm gonna go through my checklist. Now, how does that make your family life situation because there's a foreclosure? What would that do if a foreclosure occurred and that was on your credit report? You know, what sort of implications and ramifications would that happen if you just keep paying for a property that you know is not something that you see yourself living in or having a history going forward? You know, what does that do to your family life? Could you be putting your money in other places? Do you have other needs where that money could go? Let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. If I'm able to work with you, what would you be able to do with the money that I put in your pocket? You know, what kind of vacation would you go on? Have them start spending the money in their head when you're making the offers. Yeah, when I make you this offer, Mr. Seller, I just gotta ask you, what are you gonna do with all this money in your pocket? Now they're starting to spend that money in their head, so now they're already knowing that this property is sold. We just need to start talking to sellers and asking them the question. Let me end it with this. If you are asking questions that you might have to gulp a little bit before you ask, it's a good question. You want to ask those questions. You want to ask the questions that seem like you might have to tiptoe a little bit about. Those are the best questions to ask. If you're not asking those tough questions, you're missing out. You want to ask those questions because those are the questions that those are the ones that leave an impact to the seller. But it also shows that you care. It also shows that you're willing to go down that journey with that seller. And when you go and ask questions that are personal questions, but again, you're a doctor, so it's okay. But when you're doing that, you're creating an insane amount of credibility and rapport because they trust you now. If they're gonna answer that question, and guys, they always do, all right? When you think, oh man, I'm crossing the boundaries here, I'm gonna overstep no, because you're a doctor, you're a real estate investor, you solve problems. So these are questions that you can ask. You're in that arena. This is your job to ask those questions. If your doctor's not asking you personal questions, then he's not doing his job. And if you are a real estate investor and you're not asking the personal probing questions to those sellers, you're not doing yours either. Guys, have a great day. Thanks for joining our channel, and I look forward to talking to you soon.